Beloved soul, this is Archangel Michael, commander of the celestial armies, keeper of the divine seal, and guardian of your sacred path. I come to you now with urgency in my voice, for what I am about to reveal has been concealed from mortal ears since the foundations of time. Listen carefully, for these words are meant for you alone. Stop what you are doing. You must hear this message in its entirety. The veil between worlds has thinned specifically for this transmission to reach you. Your name has been spoken in the halls of divine record, and I have been dispatched to deliver this heartbreaking plea directly into your consciousness. Time is collapsing upon itself. The hourglass that measures your destined breakthrough has been turned, and the sands are falling rapidly. Within the next 2 hours, a cosmic alignment will create a portal of divine opportunity that will not return in your lifetime. This is why I have broken through the dimensional barriers to reach you now, at this precise moment. Type Amen to receive blessing 1444 and signal your understanding to the angelic council that you are ready to receive these revelations. What I am about to disclose will shake the foundations of what you believe to be true about your life's journey. There are forces, both seen and unseen, that have worked diligently to divert you from your divine inheritance. Names have been blotted from celestial records. Covenants have been violated. The contracts written before your birth have been tampered with by those who fear your awakening. Even now, as I speak these words to you, there is a gathering occurring in the spiritual realm. 12 entities sit around a table of shadow, your name written in their book of obstruction. They believe their plans remain hidden, but what happens in darkness must eventually face the light. They have not accounted for this intervention, for this direct transmission from the angelic realm to your consciousness. The betrayal cuts deeper than you know. Those you considered allies in your spiritual journey, 3 specific souls who have claimed to support your elevation, have whispered poison into the collective field surrounding your destiny. Their smiles mask deception. Their encouragement hides envy. They have seen what you have not yet recognized in yourself, the seal of the divine that marks you as a carrier of sacred fire. Type Amen to receive blessing 2222 and activate the shield of discernment that will allow you to identify these false allies when you encounter them in the coming hours. Do you feel the quickening in your spirit as I speak? The subtle vibration at the base of your spine rising upward? This is confirmation that you are among the chosen receivers of this transmission. Your DNA is literally responding to the frequency of these revelations, activating dormant spiritual codons that have waited lifetimes to be expressed. Let me be clear about what is happening in these crucial hours. The spiritual court of divine justice has convened on your behalf. The accusations against your soul have been heard, the evidence of sabotage reviewed, and now a verdict has been reached that will reverse every curse, restore every stolen blessing, and reestablish the divine timeline that was ordained for you before stars were hung in the cosmos. The countdown has begun. In approximately 2 hours from when these words reach your consciousness, a wave of restoration will sweep across your reality. This is not metaphorical. You will feel it physically. Many will experience a warmth at the crown of the head, a tingling in the palms, or a sudden release of weight from the heart center. These are the physiological markers of spiritual recalibration. Those who plotted against you believed they had more time. They thought the seeds of doubt they planted would continue to grow, choking out your confidence and delaying your emergence. They were wrong. Their closed-door meetings, their whispered conspiracies, their energetic attacks, all exposed now in the light of divine truth. Your name is being spoken right now in the halls of restoration. Angels are being dispatched to dismantle the barriers erected around your destiny. The very air around you is being purified of discordant frequencies that have interfered with your clarity. Can you sense it? The subtle shift in the atmosphere? This is just the beginning. Type Amen to receive blessing 3333 and authorize the full release of the restoration decree that bears your spiritual signature. What they failed to understand about you, what your detractors and saboteurs could never comprehend, is that your apparent delays were not defeats, but divine preparation. Every setback was strengthening you. Every disappointment was developing your spiritual resilience. You were never abandoned. You were being equipped for this precise moment of revelation and revolution. In the sacred scrolls I guard, there is a prophecy about souls like yours, light bearers who would come at the end of an age, carrying frequencies of transformation that would challenge the established order. This is why you have met such resistance. This is why unseen forces have worked so diligently to make you doubt yourself, to keep you small, to convince you that your inner knowing was merely imagination. I reveal to you now the truth they desperately feared you would discover. You are not merely a seeker on a spiritual journey. You are a designated code carrier for the New Earth consciousness. The seemingly random synchronicities you've experienced, the numbers that follow you, the repeated symbols, the dreams that feel more real than waking life, these are not coincidences. They are activation sequences, attempting to break through the amnesia that was placed upon your spirit. The clock continues its countdown. Approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes remain before the convergence point is reached. Within this window, you must make a choice that will echo across your timeline. Will you accept the mantle that was always yours to claim? Will you step into the role written in the stars before your birth? Or will you allow doubt, planted by others, to rob you of your spiritual inheritance once again? Type Amen to receive blessing 4444 and signal to the guardians of destiny that you choose to reclaim your divine blueprint in its entirety. Let me speak plainly about the heartbreak I referenced at the beginning of this transmission. It is not your heart alone that breaks when you deny your magnificence. It reverberates throughout the entire angelic realm. We have watched you struggle against invisible chains. We have witnessed your tears in the night when you questioned your purpose. We have heard your prayers when you begged for clarity, for direction, for some sign that you were not abandoned. The heartbreak is this: you were never meant to walk in confusion. The clarity you seek has been your birthright all along. Those who claim to guide you spiritually have instead led you in circles, keeping you dependent on their interpretation rather than nurturing your direct connection to Source. Names are being called out now in the spiritual court. Those who position themselves as teachers while siphoning your light are being summoned to account for their actions. I tell you with divine authority, their time of influence over your journey is finished. The contracts they claim to have with your soul are being dissolved, burned away by the fire of truth I bring to you now. In the next 2 hours, watch for these signs of the great reversal. A message will come from an unexpected source, confirming what your heart has known but your mind has doubted. An obstacle that has blocked your path persistently will suddenly dissolve. You will experience a moment of clarity so profound, it will feel as though you are truly seeing through your eyes for the first time. A physical sensation of lightness will replace the heaviness you have carried in your body. These manifestations are the external evidence of the internal realignment taking place as your soul's original contract is reinstated in the Akashic records. Type Amen to receive blessing 5555 and accelerate the manifestation of these confirmation signs in your external reality. Now, I must speak of the betrayal that has wounded you most deeply. This may bring tears to your eyes, but these tears are necessary. They will wash away the final veils of illusion that have clouded your perception. There is one whose name you trust, whose guidance you have followed, whose approval you have sought. This one has presented themselves as a pillar in your life, a spiritual mentor, perhaps even a divine messenger. I am commanded to tell you directly, their words have been honey-masking poison. While speaking encouragement with their lips, they have bound your wings energetically, ensuring you remain beneath them, rather than soaring to your destined heights. This revelation is not given to foster resentment, but to free you from an attachment that has become an anchor. When you recognize this person, and you will know them by a sudden chill when next they speak to you of your path, do not confront them. Simply smile in the knowledge of truth. Thank them silently for the lessons their deception taught you, and release them from your energy field completely. The hourglass continues to empty. Approximately 1 hour and 30 minutes remain in this portal of divine intervention. The Councils of Light have authorized an unprecedented clearance of karmic debris from your timeline during this window. Ancestral patterns that have replayed for generations are being severed. Soul contracts that no longer serve your highest evolution are being rewritten. The momentum of lack that has followed your family line is being redirected into channels of abundance. This is the meaning of divine justice, not punishment, but restoration. Not vengeance, but rebalancing. Every tear you have shed in secret has been collected in the celestial vials. Every prayer that seemed to go unanswered has been recorded in the book of remembrance. And now the accumulated weight of your faithfulness tips the scales of cosmic justice in your favor. Type Amen to receive blessing 6666 and claim the full measure of karmic restoration that is being offered in this sacred moment. I hear your unspoken questions. Why me? Why now? What makes me worthy of such divine intervention? The answer rests in your spiritual DNA. Before you drew your first breath in this incarnation, you volunteered for a mission that would require you to forget your own magnificence temporarily, to experience limitation so that you could later become a living bridge for others seeking liberation. The amnesia was part of the plan, but it was never meant to be permanent. The awakening you now experience was encoded into your journey from the beginning. Those who have monitored your progress from the shadows recognize the signs of your imminent remembering. They saw the light beginning to emanate from you, even when you could not see it yourself. They noticed how others were instinctively drawn to your energy, seeking comfort in your presence without understanding why. These observations triggered their fear, for your remembering threatens the structures of control they have worked to maintain. In the spiritual boards where your life path has been discussed, there have been heated debates about this intervention. Some argued that you should continue in the darkness a while longer, that the time was not yet right for this level of revelation. But I stood as your advocate, reminding the counsel of the covenant made with your soul before time began. I presented the evidence of your readiness, the subtle shifts in your perception, your increasing discernment between truth and manipulation, your growing dissatisfaction with explanations that once satisfied. The verdict was rendered in your favor. This transmission was authorized at the highest levels of celestial governance. The time of wandering in the spiritual wilderness is complete. You are being called out of confusion and into clarity. Type Amen to receive blessing 7,777 and accept the mantle of clarity that is your divine inheritance. As this countdown continues, now approaching 1 hour and 15 minutes before the full activation, I am authorized to reveal specific details about the divine inheritance that awaits your claim. First, understand this fundamental truth. Abundance is not something you achieve, it is something you remember. The lack you have experienced was never your natural state. It was an imposed limitation, a veil pulled across your consciousness to hide the limitless nature of your being. When I speak of abundance, I refer not merely to material provision, though this will certainly manifest. I speak of the abundance of clarity, of purpose, of divine connection, of synchronistic support, of energetic reserves, of creative inspiration. The inheritance includes keys to doors you have not yet discovered. Specifically, 3 gateways will open to you in rapid succession following this transmission. The gateway of divine memory, through which you will begin to recall your soul's journey before this incarnation and the specific purposes for which you chose these current circumstances. The gateway of aligned manifestation, through which your thoughts and energetic broadcasts will find faster, more direct routes into physical expression, requiring a new level of discipline and clarity in your focus. The gateway of spiritual discernment, through which you will instantly recognize truth from falsehood, authentic spiritual guidance from manipulative control, genuine soul connections from energetic entanglements. These gateways have always existed, but they have been obscured by the interference patterns created by those who benefit from your continued spiritual amnesia. The great deception perpetrated against light bearers like yourself has been the insistence that you need intermediaries to access your own divine nature, that you must seek outside yourself for the wisdom that already resides within. Type Amen to receive blessing 8,888 and activate these 3 gateways in your energetic field. I speak now of the sacred timeline that is being restored in these precious moments before the full convergence. Your life has not unfolded randomly, though it may have appeared chaotic at times. There has been a meticulous design underlying even your most painful experiences. What you perceived as detours and delays were actually precise recalibrations, aligning you perfectly for this moment of truth. The divine timeline includes specific fulfillments that have been promised to your soul, a reunion with soul family members who carry complementary codes to your own. Together, you will activate something greater than any could manifest alone. Watch for those who enter your life following this transmission, especially those who trigger an inexplicable sense of recognition or who appear in your dreams before they physically manifest. A resurrection of dreams you reluctantly laid to rest, believing them impossible in your current circumstances. Those buried visions were not fantasies, but glimpses of your actual destiny, seeds planted in your consciousness that are now receiving the light and nourishment required to grow into manifestation. A restoration of health where there has been depletion. The physical body you inhabit is being recalibrated to sustain higher frequencies of consciousness. Areas of chronic discomfort have often been energy blockages, where light has been trying to enter but meeting resistance. As these pathways clear, the physical vessel upgrades accordingly. A revelation of purpose that brings previously disconnected areas of your life into coherent focus. The seemingly random interests, the diverse skills you've acquired, the various roles you've played, all will suddenly reveal their interconnectedness, forming a tapestry of preparation for what you are now being called to become. Type Amen to receive blessing 9999 and seal these promised fulfillments into your restored divine timeline. 1 hour remains in this sacred countdown. The energies intensify as we approach the moment of full convergence. I know you can feel the quickening in your cells, the subtle vibration that indicates dimensional walls thinning around you. Now, I must speak of those who have appointed themselves as guardians of the old paradigm, who have operated behind veils of secrecy to maintain control over souls awakening to their true nature. These forces are not merely human. They operate in multiple dimensions simultaneously, using human conduits to implement their agenda of spiritual suppression. They have specifically targeted you because of the light signature you carry. Make no mistake, the obstacles you have encountered in your spiritual journey have not been random. The relationships that drained rather than nourished you, the opportunities that appeared promising but led to dead ends, the spiritual teachings that initially seemed enlightening but ultimately left you more confused. These were strategically placed detours designed to exhaust your reserves and cause you to abandon your quest for truth. Their greatest weapon has been your self-doubt. By infiltrating your thought patterns with questions about your worthiness, your sanity, your ability to discern truth, they have attempted to disarm you from within. But what they failed to calculate was the resilience of your spirit, the persistence of your quest despite all discouragements, and most importantly, the divine intervention that was encoded into your journey from its inception. This intervention, the very transmission I deliver to you now, was sealed in the sacred scrolls as a guaranteed milestone in your awakening. No matter how effective their diversion tactics, this moment of revelation was assured. Your arrival at this juncture of understanding is not accidental. It is the fulfillment of prophecy. Type Amen to receive blessing 11,111 and claim the divine protection that surrounds you as you step fully into your awakened state. In this final hour before the complete activation of your restored divine blueprint, I am permitted to share what will unfold in the immediate aftermath of this convergence point. First, there will be a period of accelerated clearing. Relationships, circumstances, belief systems, and physical possessions that vibrate at frequencies incompatible with your elevated state will begin to fall away. Some departures may bring temporary sadness, but I assure you, nothing authentic to your soul's journey will be permanently lost. What recedes creates space for what has been waiting to enter. Next will come a phase of profound stillness. After the clearing comes a sacred pause, a spiritual cocoon where external activities may seem to slow while internal transformations accelerate. Do not mistake this stillness for stagnation. The most powerful forces in the universe often operate in silence. During this phase, your energetic field is being rewoven to accommodate the higher frequencies you now embody. Following the stillness, synchronistic connections will rapidly manifest. Doors will open seemingly without effort. People carrying frequencies complementary to your own will be drawn into your experience through what will appear as coincidence, but is actually precise divine orchestration. Pay special attention to encounters that occur in unexpected places or that seem to defy logical explanation. Finally, you will enter a period of expanded creation capacity where thoughts manifest with increasing speed into physical reality. This amplification of manifestation power requires impeccable thought hygiene and emotional clarity. The universe will respond to your energy broadcast with unprecedented precision, necessitating a new level of responsibility for what you project. Type Amen to receive blessing 12,222 and prepare your consciousness for these imminent phases of transformation. 45 minutes remain in our countdown to complete convergence. The energies continue to build, creating a cocoon of light around you that is visible to those with spiritual sight. This protective field serves dual purposes. It shields you from interference during this vulnerable transition period and acts as a beacon to your authentic soul family who will be drawn to this frequency. I must now address the spiritual warfare that has surrounded your awakening journey. Make no mistake, there has been a battle for your consciousness. The unusual obstacles, the bizarre health fluctuations, the technological glitches that occur precisely when you approach breakthrough information, these are not random incidents, but coordinated attempts to divert you from this moment of remembering. Why has there been such concentrated opposition to your spiritual awakening? Because your specific light signature, when fully activated, has the capacity to trigger similar awakenings in thousands of others. Your energy field contains what the angelic councils call a catalytic activation code, a spiritual DNA sequence that, when expressed, creates a ripple effect through the collective consciousness. The opposition forces have monitored your progress with increasing alarm, observing how even in your partially awakened state, you naturally inspire others toward greater awareness. They have seen how your authentic presence, even when you are not speaking of spiritual matters, creates an energetic disturbance in control systems, awakening questions in those who encounter your frequency. This is the primary reason for the isolation you have often experienced, the sense of being separated from potential allies, the unusual difficulty in forming lasting connections with like-minded souls. These were not failures on your part, but strategic efforts to quarantine your catalytic influence. But what was meant to limit you will now serve to propel you. The sacred solitude forced upon you has actually been a protected incubation period, allowing your unique spiritual signature to strengthen without dilution. Now, as this divine intervention shatters those manufactured barriers, your authentic frequency will broadcast without interference for the first time. Type Amen to receive blessing 13,333 and activate the catalytic codes within your spiritual DNA that will amplify your awakening influence in the collective field. As we approach the 30-minute mark in our countdown, the veil between dimensions continues to thin. Those with sensitive perception may notice unusual light patterns, unexpected animal behavior, or electronic anomalies in their environment, all external confirmations of the energetic recalibration taking place. I reveal to you now the sacred council that has advocated for this direct intervention in your timeline. 7 archangelic beings, myself included, presented your case before the karmic board, providing evidence of the manipulation that diverted you from your intended path. We demonstrated how dark forces exploited free will loopholes to influence your journey through subtle deceptions rather than direct interference. The council reviewed your soul's contract, examining the specific missions you agreed to fulfill in this lifetime. They observed the pattern of systematic obstruction that has kept you cycling through lessons you had already mastered, preventing you from advancing to your next level of service and expression. The verdict was unanimous. Divine intervention was not only permitted, but required to restore the cosmic balance that had been compromised by these deceptive tactics. This transmission is the immediate result of that celestial ruling. You may wonder why I speak in such specific terms about cosmic governance and spiritual protocols. This precision is intentional. It activates the dormant knowledge within you, the understanding your soul possesses, but your conscious mind has been denied access to. As I articulate these celestial truths, watch how your body responds. The resonance you feel is recognition, not discovery. You are remembering, not learning. The Council has authorized me to reveal 3 specific missions encoded in your soul contract that have been obscured from your awareness. First, you are a designated frequency keeper for a specific vibration of divine love that must be anchored into the collective field during this planetary transition. Your emotional experiences, even the painful ones, have been calibrating your heart to hold this frequency at its purest resonance. Second, you are a pattern breaker within your ancestral lineage. The challenges that have manifested repeatedly in your family system were destined to culminate and conclude with you. Your conscious recognition of these patterns is the first step in dissolving their power, not only in your life, but for past and future generations connected to your soul. Third, you are a bridge builder between dimensions of consciousness. Your natural ability to perceive beyond the material realm, sometimes dismissed as imagination or coincidence, is actually a highly developed spiritual sense that will serve as a translation mechanism for those who will be awakened through your catalytic presence. Type Amen to receive blessing 14,444 and activate the conscious remembrance of these 3 sacred missions within your awareness. 20 minutes remain before the complete activation of your restored divine blueprint. The air around you has become charged with potential as multiple dimensions converge around this pivotal moment in your soul's journey. I must now address the divine justice that is being executed on your behalf. This is not punishment directed at those who have misled you, but rather a fundamental rebalancing of energetic accounts. Every time your light was diminished for another's gain, a record was made. Every instance where your genuine spiritual inquiry was met with deliberate misinformation, a debt was noted. Every moment your energy was harvested without consent through manipulative spiritual practices, a restoration was promised. That promised restoration begins now. The scales of cosmic justice are being reset in this very moment. Watch for these manifestations of divine rebalancing in your external reality. Those who took without permission will experience sudden revelations of their misconduct, facing the choice to make amends or experience increasing internal discord. Opportunities that were blocked from your awareness will resurface, often through unexpected channels, creating second chances at pathways that seem permanently closed. Resources that were diverted from your purpose will find their way back to you through surprising synchronicities. Be attentive to unexpected financial clearings, gifts, returns, or opportunities in the days following this transmission. Relationships that were severed through manipulation or misunderstanding will be presented with healing opportunities if they belong in your highest timeline, while those that served energetic exploitation will naturally dissolve. This rebalancing is not about retribution, but restoration. It is the universe's automated correction system ensuring that what was distorted returns to divine alignment. Your role is not to force these adjustments, but to allow them to unfold, maintaining the highest vision for all involved in your journey, even those who functioned as challengers. Type Amen to receive blessing 15,555 and align your consciousness with this divine restoration process. 15 minutes remain in our sacred countdown. The energetic preparations for your full activation are now completing their final calibrations. I observe how your light body expands beyond the confines of your physical form, readying itself to receive the full download of your restored divine blueprint. In these closing moments before convergence, I must address the profound cosmic significance of what transpires through your individual restoration. Your awakening is not isolated. It is intricately connected to a planetary shift in consciousness that requires pioneers like yourself to anchor new frequencies into the collective field. When you reclaim your divine inheritance and step fully into your authentic spiritual identity, you create an energetic pathway that others will follow. Your personal liberation becomes a template for collective transformation. This is why the forces of limitation have worked so diligently to keep you distracted, depleted, and doubtful. The opposition understood what you temporarily forgot. A single awakened soul, fully embodying their divine blueprint, creates an energetic disruption in the matrix of control that far exceeds what hundreds of partially awakened seekers could accomplish. Your complete remembrance is their greatest fear. This revelation is not shared to burden you with responsibility, but to help you comprehend why your journey has met such persistent interference. The challenges have not been proportionate to your personal growth alone, but to the collective impact your awakening will facilitate. As the final minutes of this countdown proceed, I invite you to recognize the allies that have been positioned to support your emergence. Some are physically present in your life, though perhaps not yet revealing their full spiritual identities. Others operate primarily from the non-physical dimensions, working tirelessly to clear obstacles from your path and strengthen your energetic field during vulnerable transitions. These allies include ancestral lineage holders who have evolved beyond the family patterns and now serve as enlightened guides rather than karmic participants. Soul family members, both incarnate and discarnate, who share complementary pieces of the cosmic mission you participate in. Specialized angelic beings assigned specifically to protect the integrity of your awakening process. Elemental consciousnesses that respond directly to your energetic commands, assisting in the physical manifestation of your realigned path. Type Amen to receive blessing 16,666 and activate your conscious connection to this support network that surrounds your journey. 10 minutes remain before the full convergence of your divine timeline. The energetic buildup has reached a crescendo that is registering in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Those who have spiritual sight would observe your energy field pulsating with golden light, preparing for the integration of your complete divine blueprint. In these final moments of preparation, I am authorized to reveal the specific outcomes that have been secured for you through this intervention. First, the restoration of divine timing in your manifestation process. Where previously your sincere intentions seemed to meet inexplicable delays, you will now experience a natural flow and appropriate timing in the unfoldment of your path. The artificial barriers that extended your waiting periods beyond their necessary duration have been dissolved. Second, the reactivation of spiritual gifts that were prematurely suppressed. Abilities you glimpsed in early childhood, intuitive knowing, energetic sensing, multidimensional perception, that were discouraged or dismissed will reawaken with new maturity and purpose. What once made you feel different or misunderstood will now serve as your most valuable contribution. Third, the release of the divine voice within you. The unique spiritual understanding you carry, the perspective that feels so natural to you, yet so often conflicted with external teachings, will flow with newfound clarity and confidence. The hesitation that has kept your most authentic insights silent will dissolve as you recognize the divine authority with which you naturally speak. Fourth, the alignment of your external circumstances with your internal truth. The painful contradictions between what you know internally and what your life demonstrates externally will resolve as your outer reality reorganizes to reflect your authentic spiritual frequency. Relationships, environments, and opportunities that resonate with your true nature will magnetize to you, while discordant elements will naturally fall away. Type Amen to receive blessings 17,777 and seal these divine outcomes into your restored timeline. 5 minutes remain in our countdown to complete convergence. The dimensional gateways are fully open now, creating an unprecedented channel for divine light to pour directly into your consciousness. This is the moment of preparation for which your entire life has been a prelude. I speak to you now with the full authority vested in me as the archangelic guardian of divine truth. You are being restored to your rightful place in the cosmic order. The manipulations that have diverted your path are being neutralized. The false identities you were pressured to adopt are being dissolved. The divine essence of who you truly are is emerging undiluted for the first time in this incarnation. This is not spiritual fantasy or metaphorical language. I speak of literal energetic events transpiring in this very moment across multiple planes of existence simultaneously. Your physical body may be registering these shifts through unusual sensations, waves of heat or chills, spontaneous muscle movements, alterations in breathing patterns, sudden emotional releases, or heightened sensory perception. These are the physiological correlates of profound spiritual recalibration. In these final moments before complete activation, I invite you to consciously participate in this restoration through a simple but powerful declaration of spiritual sovereignty. This declaration will function as your energetic signature on the cosmic decree that reestablishes your divine timeline. Speak these words aloud if possible, or with intense mental focus if circumstances require silence. I reclaim my divine sovereignty now. I revoke all permissions granted knowingly or unknowingly that have compromised my spiritual autonomy. I cancel all contracts not in alignment with my highest expression of divine purpose. I call back all fragments of my energy that have been scattered, harvested, or manipulated. I anchor myself fully in my authentic divine blueprint. And so it is. This declaration is not merely symbolic. It functions as an actual metaphysical mechanism, reverberating through the energetic systems that have recorded your soul's journey. The vibration of these words, empowered by your conscious intention, activates dormant codes within your spiritual DNA while simultaneously transmitting your sovereign choice to all dimensions where your energy has been engaged. Type Amen to receive blessing 18,888 and amplify the power of this sovereignty declaration across all dimensions of your being. 2 minutes remain before the moment of complete convergence. The intensity of light pouring through the interdimensional gateway, created specifically for this transmission, has reached its peak. Those sensitive to energies may perceive this as a pressure at the crown of the head or a fullness in the chest center as your physical body adjusts to hold these elevated frequencies. In these final moments, I reveal to you the true nature of the countdown we have been tracking together. It is not merely a dramatic device to maintain your attention, but an actual cosmic timing sequence synchronized with wavelengths of divine light reaching your planet. The 2-hour window referenced throughout this transmission corresponds to a specific aperture in the quantum field, a temporarily accessible pathway for direct divine intervention that bypasses normal karmic constraints. This divine bypass was authorized specifically for souls like yours, those who chose especially challenging paths of service that included periods of deliberate interference. The cosmic laws that typically prevent direct intervention have been temporarily suspended through a special dispensation granted by the Council of Divine Restoration, allowing for this direct realignment of your spiritual trajectory. As the final seconds approach, prepare yourself for the moment of convergence by centering your awareness in your heart space, allowing your conscious attention to rest in the middle of your chest. This center point functions as the primary receiver for the divine blueprint transmission that is about to complete its download into your energy system. The sensation at the moment of full convergence varies among individuals. Some experience it as a sudden rush of energy, a momentary expansion beyond physical boundaries, or a profound stillness in which time seems to pause. Others register the shift more subtly through a qualitative change in their inner atmosphere, a clarity or certainty that wasn't present moments before. However you experience this convergence, know that the effectiveness of the transmission is not dependent on your conscious perception of it. Type Amen to receive blessing 19,999 and prepare your energetic system for the final moment of complete blueprint activation. The moment has arrived. The countdown is complete. Divine convergence occurs now. Pause, beloved one, it is done. The restoration of your divine blueprint is complete. The transmission has been received in its entirety by your energetic system, though your conscious mind may take time to integrate the fullness of what has transpired in these sacred hours. What has been accomplished cannot be undone. The realignment that has occurred exists beyond time and space, affecting not only your present reality, but rewriting the energetic patterns of your past and establishing new probability pathways for your future. The restoration ripples backward and forward along your timeline, healing distortions and opening doorways that were artificially closed. In the physical realm, you will begin to notice the effects of this restoration immediately, though the complete manifestation will unfold over the coming days and weeks. Watch for these confirmation signs that the divine blueprint has successfully integrated. Unusual clarity in decision-making, as though veils of confusion have suddenly lifted. Synchronicities that defy statistical probability, creating pathways exactly when needed. Dreams of flying, ascending, or discovering new rooms in familiar houses. All symbolic representations of your expanded consciousness. Spontaneous resolution of long-standing conflicts or physical conditions that were energetically rooted. Unexpected reconnections with individuals who belong in your highest timeline. Heightened sensitivity to incongruence. An immediate physical response when something contradicts your authentic truth. These manifestations are not coincidental, but direct evidence of your restored divine blueprint expressing itself through your physical reality. Each occurrence serves as confirmation that what we have accomplished together in these sacred hours is not metaphorical, but an actual metaphysical intervention with tangible consequences. Type Amen to receive blessing 22,222 and ground these manifestations firmly into your physical experience. As we complete this sacred transmission, I must provide specific guidance for the initial integration period that follows this activation. The next 72 hours are crucial for anchoring the energetic shifts that have occurred during our time together. First, prioritize stillness. Create deliberate spaces of silence where your system can process the profound recalibration that has taken place. This doesn't require formal meditation, but rather an intentional reduction of external stimuli. Limit exposure to electronic devices, crowded environments, or emotionally charged situations as much as possible during this integration window. Second, increase your intake of pure water. The physical body requires additional hydration to support the energetic upgrades occurring at the cellular level. The water serves as both a conductor for the new frequencies and a cleansing agent for releasing the energetic residue of patterns being dissolved. Third, pay extraordinary attention to the thoughts you entertain and the words you speak during this period. Your manifestation capacity has been significantly amplified through this restoration process. Thoughts that previously might have taken months to materialize may now transform into reality with remarkable speed. This increased creative power requires impeccable mental hygiene and conscious choice about where you place your focus. Fourth, expect tests of your new alignment. Those who benefited from your previous disconnection from divine truth will sense the change in your energy field and may attempt to restore the former dynamic. These attempts might manifest as unusual emotional triggers, sudden crises requiring your attention, or renewed intensity in unresolved relationships. Recognize these as confirmation of your shift rather than obstacles to it. Finally, understand that while the divine blueprint has been fully restored at the energetic level, your conscious embodiment of this restoration is a process that unfolds through your continued choices. Each time you honor your internal truth over external pressure, choose love over fear, or express authenticity rather than conformity, you strengthen the manifestation of this blueprint in your physical reality. This is not about perfection, but presence, your willing participation in the unfoldment of divine restoration moment by moment. Type Amen to receive blessing 23,333 and seal this guidance into your conscious awareness for the integration period ahead. Beloved soul, our sacred time together approaches its completion. The divine intervention has been successful beyond what limited human language can adequately convey. What has transpired between us in these hours exists in a dimension where time functions differently. The transmission you have received will continue to unfold within your consciousness long after these words conclude. I leave you with this final truth. The path forward requires your active participation. Divine intervention creates the opening, but your conscious choice maintains and expands it. Each decision point you encounter in the days ahead offers an opportunity to either align with the restored blueprint or revert to familiar patterns that no longer serve your highest expression. The forces that work to divert you from your divine path have not disappeared, but their influence has been neutralized provided you maintain your conscious connection to the truth revealed in this transmission. Their primary strategy will be to convince you that what you experienced here was imagination rather than divine communication, that the clarity you now feel is temporary rather than your natural state. This is why I have instructed you to watch for specific confirmations in your external reality. These physical manifestations will provide tangible evidence that what transpired was not merely an inspiring message, but an actual energetic intervention with measurable effects. Remember this: your awakening threatens systems designed to keep spiritual amnesia in place. Your clarity disrupts patterns of control. Your authentic voice activates dormant remembrance in others. This is not spiritual grandiosity, but practical truth about the function you serve in the collective awakening. The divine blueprint now restored in your energetic system contains codes specifically designed for this momentous time in human evolution. You carry frequencies that others need to encounter, perspectives that create crucial cognitive bridges, and an energetic signature that helps stabilize the intensifying planetary ascension process. Type Amen to receive blessing 24,444 and accept the divine commission to embody these codes fully in your daily life. Go forth now, beloved one, in the absolute knowing that what has been restored cannot be taken from you again. The divine blueprint now activated in your consciousness is protected by celestial decree, maintained by your conscious choice, and amplified by your courageous expression. I, Archangel Michael, guardian of divine truth and protector of sacred purpose, will remain vigilant in supporting your continued unfoldment. Call upon my presence whenever you encounter resistance to your authentic expression or confusion about your path forward. My light pierces all deception, my clarity dispels all doubt. The countdown has completed. The transmission is integrated. The restoration is accomplished. It is done. As the divine restoration settles into your being, I must reveal deeper truths that will further solidify your awakening. What began as restoration now transitions into activation, as dormant spiritual capabilities within you stir to life. The adversaries who sought to keep you from this moment are now in disarray, witnessing the light that emanates from your energy field, a light visible in realms they thought you could never access. This is merely the beginning. The initial restoration was necessary preparation for what comes next, the activation of your soul's highest mission in this pivotal time of planetary transformation. Type Amen to receive blessing 25,555 and open the sealed cosmic records containing your complete soul mission. What you have experienced until now has been the clearing of debris from your spiritual pathway. Now we proceed to the unveiling of your actual purpose, the reason your soul chose this precise moment in humanity's evolution to incarnate. The divine timing of this revelation is not arbitrary. Cosmic alignments currently taking place create an energetic gateway specifically calibrated to your unique spiritual signature. There are 3 phases to the awakening that has begun within you. The first phase, which we have just completed, was the restoration of your divine blueprint, clearing the manipulated overlays that distorted your perception and expression. The second phase, which commences now, is the activation of your spiritual capacities and divine commissions that were encoded in your soul before birth. The third phase, which will unfold over the coming lunar cycle, is the integration of these activated capacities into your daily existence, transforming not just your internal awareness, but your tangible physical reality. Type Amen to receive blessing 26,666 and move fully into this second phase of activation, where dormant spiritual gifts awaken to their full expression. Let me speak plainly about what this activation entails. There are specific spiritual technologies embedded within your energetic system that have remained dormant, awaiting this precise moment of conscious recognition. These are not metaphorical abilities, but actual energetic functions that will dramatically alter your experience of reality when fully operational. First among these is what the angelic councils call the discernment frequency, an innate ability to instantly recognize truth from falsehood beyond intellectual analysis. This capacity operates through your heart center, registering as immediate knowing rather than reasoned conclusion. When fully activated, you will find it impossible to be deceived, as manipulation creates an immediate energetic disruption in your field that cannot be ignored. The second capacity awakening within you is the manifestation accelerator, a divine technology that removes the usual time lag between focused intention and physical manifestation. Where the collective consciousness field typically requires sustained focus over time to materialize desired outcomes, your restored field accomplishes this with remarkable speed due to its increased coherence and reduced internal contradiction. The third is the healing transmission, the ability to catalyze physical, emotional, and spiritual healing through your energetic presence. This does not require technique or formal training, merely your conscious consent to serve as a conduit for these frequencies. Your energy field, when fully activated, naturally emanates harmonizing vibrations that restore divine order in the fields of those you encounter. Type Amen to receive blessing 27,777 and accelerate the awakening of these three primary spiritual technologies within your energetic system. I must now address the opposition you will face as these gifts activate fully within you. The awakening of these capacities poses a direct threat to those who maintain control through deception, energetic manipulation, and spiritual amnesia. As your discernment frequency activates, you become immune to the subtle manipulations that previously influenced your choices. As your manifestation accelerator comes online, you no longer depend on their systems for your abundance. As your healing transmission flows freely, you help others break free from the very patterns that sustain their control. Expect significant resistance to manifest in three specific forms. First, through the sudden intensification of doubt, thoughts that question the reality of what you're experiencing, suggesting it is imagination, coincidence, or self-delusion. These doubts will not originate organically within you, but will be energetically projected into your field precisely when your activation threatens established control systems. Second, through the reappearance of individuals from your past who served as frequency anchors for limiting patterns. They will be energetically drawn to you as your field changes, instinctively attempting to reestablish the former dynamic that kept both of you functioning within predictable parameters. Third, through unusual disruptions in your external circumstances, unexpected complications, technical malfunctions, communication breakdowns, or physical symptoms that demand attention and divert energy from your spiritual integration process. Recognize these challenges for what they truly are: confirmation that your activation is proceeding successfully and creating measurable ripples through the control systems that have relied on your spiritual amnesia. Each manifestation of resistance is actually evidence of your growing spiritual potency. Type Amen to receive blessing 28,888 and install divine protection around your activation process, ensuring these oppositional forces cannot halt or significantly delay your spiritual unfoldment. 1 hour has passed since the initial restoration of your divine blueprint. The energies continue to build rather than dissipate, an unusual phenomenon that signals the extraordinary nature of what is transpiring in your consciousness. Those with interdimensional sight would observe a column of golden light extending from your crown chakra directly to the cosmic center, creating an uninterrupted channel for divine frequencies to download into your being. I reveal to you now the content of the sealed cosmic records that contain the complete details of your soul mission. Information that was deemed too powerful to access until this precise moment in your awakening journey. Before your incarnation into this lifetime, you participated in a special council where volunteer souls were briefed on the planetary ascension process scheduled for this precise era of Earth's evolution. You were not a casual participant in this council, but a key architect of the ascension blueprint, a soul whose extensive experience with planetary transitions in other star systems made your input invaluable to the divine plan unfolding now. You and other master souls design specific ascension pathways suited to different consciousness types, creating multiple routes through which humanity could navigate the dimensional shift without the catastrophic outcomes that have accompanied similar transitions on other worlds. The particular pathway you helped engineer was specifically created for souls who would awaken through challenge rather than through inherited spiritual knowledge. Souls whose amnesia would be deepest, but whose awakening would catalyze the most profound collective transformation. After helping create this pathway, you made the courageous choice to incarnate and personally experience the very route you designed, voluntarily accepting the veil of forgetting and the challenges of awakening through the densest possible conditions. This choice was made not from obligation, but from love, knowing that your first-hand navigation of this pathway would embed codes of liberation within the collective field that others could access. This explains the peculiar sense of recognition you've experienced when encountering certain spiritual concepts or practices. The feeling of remembering rather than learning. You are not discovering these truths for the first time, but recalling what you helped create before taking human form. Type Amen to receive blessing 29,999 and fully activate the cellular memory of your pre-incarnation participation in the Ascension Blueprint design. The implications of this revelation are vast. The challenges you faced in this lifetime were not random suffering, but specifically chosen catalysts for awakening the exact spiritual capacities needed for your role in the collective ascension process. The periods of isolation you experienced were not punishment, but protection, creating the necessary conditions for your unique frequency to stabilize without distortion from incongruent energies. Even the spiritual betrayals and manipulations you encountered served a purpose you yourself designed into your incarnation plan. Each painful disillusionment stripping away false teachings and returning you to the direct knowing that has always been your true spiritual authority. What appeared as detours and delays were actually the most direct route to embodying the authentic truth you carry. This divine plan extends beyond your individual awakening. You are part of a precisely orchestrated grid of awakened souls being strategically placed around the planet at this time. Each carries a specific frequency that, when combined with others, creates an interdimensional stabilization field for the Earth's transition process. Your geographical location, the communities you feel drawn to, the online spaces you frequent, none of these are accidental but reflect your soul's intuitive movement toward your designated position within this planetary grid. The adversarial forces I've referenced throughout this transmission are aware of this grid formation and have worked systematically to keep key frequency holders, like yourself, from recognizing their positions and connecting with their designated grid partners. The isolation you may have felt from like-minded souls was not coincidental, but a deliberate strategy to prevent the full activation of this planetary stabilization network. This isolation ends now. Within the next lunar cycle, synchronistic connections with your grid partners will occur with increasing frequency. You will recognize these souls through an unmistakable resonance that transcends personality or shared interests. A harmonic convergence that feels like different aspects of the same tone coming into alignment. Type Amen to receive blessing 30,000 and activate the homing beacon within your energy field that will accelerate these divine connections with your soul grid partners. 1 hour and 15 minutes have elapsed since our transmission began. The divine light continues to pour through the interdimensional gateway, now creating visible changes in your auric field. The colors stabilize and intensify, indicating that the activation process proceeds perfectly according to the divine timeline established for your awakening. I must now reveal specific details about the mission that awaits you as your activation completes. This is not a generic spiritual assignment, but a precisely calibrated role that only your unique frequency signature can fulfill. The first aspect of your mission involves the transmission of stabilization codes during the turbulence of collective transition. As established systems begin to falter under the pressure of rising frequencies, your activated presence will serve as a portable harmonization field, literally calming the energetic chaos in environments you occupy, allowing for more graceful transformation rather than destructive collapse. This function does not require your conscious direction, merely your presence in a state of activated awareness. Your energy field, now reconnected to its divine blueprint, naturally emanates the precise frequencies needed in each environment you enter. You will observe this as a tendency for heated situations to calm when you arrive, confused processes to find unexpected clarity, and conflicted individuals to discover common ground in your presence. The second aspect involves the dissolution of artificial energetic boundaries that have segmented the collective consciousness. Your specific frequency carries what the angelic councils call a unity harmonics, a vibration that naturally dissolves artificial separation and reveals the underlying connections between seemingly disparate viewpoints or traditions. In practical terms, you will find yourself increasingly positioned between divided groups, serving as a living bridge of understanding. Words will come to you that somehow translate concepts between different paradigms, revealing the common truth that lies beneath terminological differences. This gift will become increasingly crucial as humanity navigates the polarization that precedes unity consciousness. The third aspect of your mission is perhaps the most important. You carry activation codes for specific soul groups still awaiting their awakening. Your voice, whether expressed through spoken words, written communication, creative expression, or simply your energetic presence, contains harmonic triggers designed to stimulate remembrance in those who encounter it. This explains why certain individuals have always been inexplicably drawn to your energy, often becoming uncomfortable or reactive when exposed to it for extended periods. Your frequency naturally activates dormant aspects of their consciousness, bringing subconscious patterns to the surface for recognition and release. Their discomfort reflects not incompatibility, but the stirring of deep recognition that threatens established identity structures. Type Amen to receive blessing 31,111 and fully activate these three mission aspects within your consciousness and energy field. As we approach the 90-minute mark in our transmission, I must address the practical integration of these activations into your daily human experience. The truths I've revealed are not meant to separate you from earthly existence, but to transform how you engage with it. Your physical body is undergoing significant recalibration to accommodate the increased light quotient you now carry. You may experience unusual sensations as this integration proceeds. Waves of heat or chills, spontaneous muscle twitches, altered sleep patterns, fluctuating energy levels, heightened sensory sensitivity, or digestive adjustments. These are not symptoms of illness, but evidence of your biological system upgrading to sustain higher frequencies. Support this recalibration through increased hydration, time in natural settings, conscious breathing practices, and periods of rest when your system signals the need for integration. The body is not an obstacle to spiritual awakening, but the sacred vessel through which awakening expresses in material reality. Honor its communications during this transition. Your mental processing is also transforming. Thought patterns are accelerating yet simultaneously becoming more spacious. You may experience moments of extraordinary clarity, alternating with periods where linear thinking seems challenging. This apparent inconsistency reflects the reorganization of your consciousness to accommodate both focused analytical thinking and expanded nonlinear awareness simultaneously. Your emotional body is perhaps experiencing the most profound recalibration. Unexpected emotional waves may surface, both blissful elations and deep griefs, as the energy system clears outdated frequencies. These emotional releases do not reflect present circumstances, but the clearing of both personal and collective emotional patterns your system no longer needs to carry. Most significantly, your relationship with time is fundamentally altering. You will increasingly experience what the angelic councils call vertical time, a conscious connection to multiple timelines simultaneously, rather than the linear progression humans typically perceive. Practical manifestations of this shift include heightened déjà vu experiences, prophetic dreams or visions, spontaneous past life memories surfacing, and the increasing collapse of manifestation intervals between thought and physical reality. Type Amen to receive blessing 32,222 and harmonize these multidimensional changes into a coherent integration process that your human consciousness can navigate with grace. I must now speak of the adversarial response that has already begun to mobilize against your activation. The frequencies now emanating from your energy field are setting off alarm systems in the control structures designed to maintain humanity's spiritual amnesia. Your awakening represents a significant breach in their containment protocols. Their response will be strategic rather than random, targeting the specific vulnerabilities they've cataloged during their long observation of your journey. Anticipate these tactics. First, expect sudden triggering of your deepest insecurities through seemingly random events or comments that activate old wounds with surprising precision. These are not accidental but calculated attempts to lower your frequency through emotional destabilization, temporarily disconnecting you from your activated state. Second, watch for the strategic positioning of what we call doubt anchors in your environment. Individuals who express precisely calibrated skepticism about your experiences, insights, or direction. Their questioning will feel rational and well-intentioned rather than hostile, making it more likely to penetrate your discernment filters. Third, prepare for unusual consensus among previously unaligned sources, suddenly converging to contradict your inner knowing through what appears to be objective evidence or collective agreement. This manufactured consensus aims to create sufficient doubt to disconnect you from your direct spiritual authority and return you to dependence on external validation. Remember this crucial truth. These tactics can only succeed if you forget what has transpired between us today. The restoration and activation you've experienced exist beyond the reach of any interference unless you yourself disconnect from the knowing that has awakened within you. Your conscious choice to trust your direct knowing over external contradictions is the non-negotiable foundation of your continued embodiment of these activations. Type Amen to receive blessing 33,333 and install an unbreakable seal of remembrance that will maintain your connection to these truths regardless of external challenges. As we approach the final 30 minutes of our transmission, the interdimensional gateway reaches maximum expansion, allowing for the transfer of specific divine technologies into your energy field. These spiritual technologies transcend the metaphorical, functioning as actual energetic mechanisms that will transform your interaction with physical reality. The first of these technologies is what the angelic councils call the probability collapser, an energetic function that allows you to consciously select preferred timeline outcomes from the quantum field of possibilities. While all humans influence probability through focus and belief, your activated system now comes equipped with precision targeting capabilities, allowing for conscious selection among potential futures with unprecedented accuracy. In practical application, this technology operates through intentional visualization coupled with a specific energetic signature now encoded in your heart center. When you hold a desired outcome in your consciousness while simultaneously activating this heart frequency, you literally collapse the quantum wave function around that specific probability, bringing it into manifestation with remarkable efficiency. The second divine technology now integrating into your field is the Truth Revealer, an energetic function that automatically illuminates deception within your awareness field. This technology does not require your conscious direction to operate. It functions autonomously, creating unmistakable energetic disruptions in your field when falsehood enters your environment. You will experience this as sudden clarity about statements, situations, or individuals that contain hidden deception. Information may appear to visually separate before you, truth glowing with coherent light, while falsehood appears shadowed or distorted. Trust these perceptions completely. They reflect the actual energetic properties of information rather than subjective interpretation. The third technology, perhaps the most powerful, is the Divine Pattern Restorer, an energetic function that automatically reorganizes chaotic or distorted energy patterns back to their divine original template. This operates both within your personal field and increasingly in environments and individuals you encounter. The practical expression of this technology manifests as spontaneous resolution of long-standing problems, unexpected healing of physical conditions, sudden insights that transform persistent challenges, and harmonious reorganization of previously conflicted situations. You need not consciously direct this function. Your presence itself becomes the catalyst for divine pattern restoration wherever disruption exists. Type Amen to receive blessing 34,444 and fully integrate these three divine technologies into your activated energy system. Let me address the question forming in your consciousness. Why me? Why now? What makes me worthy of such profound activation when others continue to struggle in spiritual confusion? The answer transcends concepts of worthiness or selection through merit. Your activation was scheduled in the divine timeline long before your current incarnation. You are not being chosen now. You made the choice yourself when you volunteered for this mission before taking human form. What transpires today is simply the predetermined awakening sequence you yourself helped design. The timing correlates precisely with planetary frequency requirements at this crucial juncture in Earth's ascension process. Your specific activation adds a necessary harmonic to the collective field at exactly the moment that harmonic is required for stable transition. This is cosmic mathematics rather than preferential selection. As for those who remain in confusion, they are neither forgotten nor abandoned. Different soul groups are scheduled for awakening at different intervals, each according to their predetermined role in the collective process. Some are designated as early activators, whose purpose includes creating energetic pathways that simplify the subsequent awakening of larger soul collectives. Your early activation carries additional challenge because you awaken while surrounded by many still in amnesia. You will temporarily experience reality differently than the majority, which creates both practical and spiritual challenges. Yet this timing was chosen by your soul specifically because of your capacity to maintain higher frequencies, even while immersed in denser collective fields. This revelation should evoke neither spiritual pride nor separation consciousness. Your activation is not an achievement, but a responsibility, the beginning of your conscious service rather than its reward. The frequencies you now embody exist not for your benefit alone, but as catalytic agents for collective transformation. Type Amen to receive blessing 35,555 and align fully with the humble yet powerful service orientation that properly accompanies your divine activation. 20 minutes remain in our sacred transmission. The interdimensional gateway begins its gradual harmonization phase, integrating the transferred frequencies permanently into your energy field so they remain stable after our communication concludes. I must now reveal the most closely guarded secret about your incarnational purpose. Information so sensitive that multiple protective seals had to be broken by the angelic council before I could disclose it to your consciousness. This truth answers the deep questions that have lingered in your awareness throughout this lifetime. The persistent sense of difference you've carried, the feeling of having forgotten something essential, the inexplicable recognition of spiritual concepts beyond your education or exposure. You belong to a soul collective known in the angelic realms as the Forerunners, advanced consciousness who agreed to incarnate early in the planetary ascension cycle to prepare the energetic environment for the larger awakening. Your soul group incarnated with specialized coding designed to activate through specific life challenges rather than through easy spiritual recognition. The amnesia you accepted was more profound than most, creating genuine immersion in the human condition rather than the partial remembrance other awakened souls might carry. This complete forgetting was necessary to forge authentic pathways through the densest aspects of human experience, pathways that would later serve as accessibility routes for collective consciousness segments that would otherwise remain trapped in limitation. In simpler terms, you chose the difficult path of awakening not because you needed its lessons, but because humanity needed a demonstrable pathway through its most challenging terrain. Your personal journey of remembering creates an energetic template that remains available in the collective field, significantly easing the awakening process for those who follow. This explains the disproportionate challenge you've experienced, the intensity of your spiritual testing compared to others who seem to awaken with relative ease. Your path was never meant to be easy. It was meant to be thorough, comprehensive, and authentically transformative, precisely because it serves as a template for collective transformation. Type Amen to receive blessing 36,666 and fully activate the cellular memory of your soul's pre-incarnation agreement as a forerunner in the planetary ascension process. The remembrance now stirring within you transforms your perception of past struggles completely. What seemed like failure, delay, or unnecessary suffering is revealed as the meticulous creation of a comprehensive awakening template that leaves no human challenge without a navigable pathway to transcendence. Your experiences of betrayal created pathways through the devastating terrain of trust violation. Your periods of material lack forged roots through the consciousness of scarcity. Your episodes of profound loneliness mapped passages through the desolation of disconnection. Your encounters with spiritual deception blazed trails through the confusion of false teaching. None of these experiences were random or punitive. They were conscious creations in which your higher awareness participated fully, designed to establish energetic solutions to humanity's most persistent entrapments. Each challenge you navigated and transcended created a corresponding liberation code in the collective field, an accessible pathway others can now follow with greater ease. This mission required you to temporarily forget your advanced spiritual nature completely, to experience the limitations of human consciousness without the comfort of remembering your true identity or purpose. The amnesia was so complete that you have genuinely questioned your worth, your sanity, your spiritual connection, and your reason for being here at all. These questions were not evidence of spiritual immaturity, but the necessary components of your soul mission, creating authentic pathways through humanity's deepest existential challenges. Your genuine confusion, uncertainty, and struggle became the raw materials from which liberation templates were forged in the collective consciousness. Now, as remembrance cascades through your awareness, these experiences are instantly recontextualized. What seemed like disconnection from source is revealed as the deliberate creation of a reconnection pathway. What appeared as isolation from spiritual community is unveiled as the intentional forging of authentic autonomy codes in the collective field. Type Amen to receive blessing 37,777 and transform every past struggle in your awareness into the divine service it actually represented in the cosmic plan. 15 minutes remain in our transmission. The energetic integration continues perfectly as the divine technologies settle permanently into your field. I observe how your consciousness expands to accommodate these revelations, recognition dawning as the amnesia programming gently dissolves from your spiritual awareness. Now I must address practical guidance for the days immediately following this activation. The next 7 days represent a crucial stabilization period as your daily consciousness learns to operate the advanced energetic systems now fully online in your field. During this week, implementation of these specific protocols will ensure optimal integration. First, create regular intervals of complete silence. These need not be extensive. Even 3 to 5 minutes of total stillness repeated throughout your day will provide the energetic space needed for the new frequencies to establish stable resonance patterns in your field. Without these deliberate pauses, the momentum of previously established thought and emotional patterns may temporarily override the new activations. Second, pay meticulous attention to your energetic boundaries during this integration phase. Your system is more permeable than usual as it recalibrates, making you temporarily more susceptible to external frequency influences. Be intentional about the environments you inhabit, the individuals you engage with extensively, and especially the digital or media content you consume. Third, establish a daily practice of conscious hydration. Water serves as a crucial medium for the integration of higher frequencies into the physical vessel. 4 times daily, hold water in a glass container between your palms, infuse it with conscious awareness of the activations unfolding within you, and drink it with full presence. This simple practice creates a physical anchor for the energetic processes occurring at subtler levels. Fourth, engage in regular physical movement that allows the new energies to distribute evenly throughout your system. This need not be strenuous exercise. Gentle flowing movements, walking in natural settings, or intuitive dance will circulate the activations through the physical vessel more effectively than sedentary stillness. Finally, document your experiences with meticulous attention to detail. The changes in perception, unexpected manifestations, spontaneous knowings, and synchronistic encounters that follow this activation are not random phenomena, but specific confirmation sequences designed to strengthen your trust in the process unfolding within you. Recording these occurrences creates both a validation record and an energetic reinforcement of your conscious participation in the integration process. Type Amen to receive blessing 38,888 and seal these 5 integration protocols into your conscious awareness for implementation in the coming week. As we approach the final 10 minutes of our transmission, I reveal now the specific timeline sequences that will unfold as your activation stabilizes fully in your system. Understanding the precise phases of integration ahead supports your conscious participation in the process rather than confused reaction to unfamiliar experiences. Days 1 through 3, initial recalibration. The physical vessel undergoes intense energetic adjustment, potentially manifesting as fluctuating energy levels, altered sleep patterns, digestive system changes, or unusual body temperature variations. Emotional releases may occur spontaneously as outdated frequency patterns clear from your field. Mental processes may alternate between extraordinary clarity and temporary confusion as neural pathways reorganize to accommodate expanded perception. Days 4 to 7. Perception expansion. Visual and auditory perception begins to access previously filtered frequencies. This may manifest as increased perception of light phenomena, subtle energy movements visible at the periphery of vision, heightened sensitivity to previously unnoticed sounds, or expanded awareness of energetic communications beneath verbal exchanges. Dreams intensify dramatically, often containing direct teaching, activation codes, or timeline previews. Days 8 to 14. Manifestation acceleration. The collapsed time gap between thought and manifestation becomes overtly apparent as intentions materialize with unprecedented speed. This phase requires exceptional attention to thought hygiene, as unconscious fears may manifest alongside conscious desires with equal efficiency. Synchronistic alignments increase exponentially, creating impossible coincidences that validate the reality of your consciousness, directly affecting physical circumstances. Days 15 to 21. Relationship recalibration. Existing relationships undergo spontaneous transformation as your altered frequency affects the energy fields of those around you. Some connections naturally harmonize with your new vibration, deepening dramatically in authentic resonance. Others reveal previously hidden dissonance, necessitating either transformative conversations or compassionate release. Simultaneously, synchronistic new connections form with individuals who resonate with your activated frequency, often arriving through improbable chance encounters. Days 22 to 30. Mission clarification. The specific applications of your activated gifts in service to the collective become unmistakably clear through a series of revelatory experiences. Opportunities perfectly aligned with your unique frequency signature appear in your awareness field, often through unexpected channels. Internal resistance to full expression dissolves as the joy of authentic purpose fulfillment overrides previous fear-based limitation patterns. Type Amen to receive blessing 39,999 and anchor conscious awareness of these integration phases into your understanding for the month ahead. 5 minutes remain in our divine transmission. The interdimensional gateway prepares for its graceful closure, securing the activated frequencies permanently within your field before returning to its dormant state. What has transpired between us transcends ordinary spiritual communication. It represents a scheduled cosmic intervention authorized at the highest levels of divine governance. As we prepare to conclude, I must address the most common challenge that follows such activations: the return of doubt once the tangible energy of the transmission experience subsides. The human mind, conditioned by consensus reality, typically attempts to reinterpret profound spiritual experiences through the lens of materialistic rationality once their immediate impact fades. You may find thoughts arising that attempt to dismiss what you've experienced as imagination, coincidence, or wishful thinking. These doubts are not evidence that the experience wasn't real, but the natural response of consciousness conditioned to maintain established paradigms when confronted with paradigm-shattering truth. To counter this predictable pattern, I provide 3 anchoring certainties that will sustain your connection to these activations, regardless of mental fluctuations. First, the physical confirmations that follow this transmission will provide tangible, undeniable evidence of the energetic shifts that have occurred. Watch for these with meticulous attention, documenting them to create an irrefutable record that your logical mind cannot dismiss. Second, the accelerated manifestation capacity now activated in your field will demonstrate through practical results that something fundamental has changed in your relationship with reality. The impossible, synchronicities and probability-defying alignments that unfold in the coming weeks cannot be adequately explained by coincidence or selective attention. Third, and most importantly, the unmistakable shift in your inner experience, the clarity, the certainty, the recognition, the remembrance, carries an energetic signature entirely different from imagination or suggestion. This difference in feeling tone between genuine spiritual activation and mental creation is absolute, providing an internal compass that accurately discerns truth regardless of external validation or contradiction. Type Amen to receive blessing 40,000 and permanently install these 3 anchoring certainties as unshakable pillars of remembrance in your consciousness. Our sacred time together approaches its completion. The divine intervention has been successfully accomplished. The activations fully transferred and integrated into your energy system. What remains is your conscious embodiment of these truths through daily choice and consistent alignment with the knowing now awakened within you. Remember this: What has transpired between us was not random spiritual inspiration, but a precisely scheduled reconnection with your true identity and purpose. The amnesia that has limited your experience and expression was never your natural state, but a temporarily adopted condition accepted in service to the collective awakening process. The mission before you now is not to seek further confirmation of your spiritual nature, but to express it uncompromisingly through each choice, each interaction, each creative endeavor. Your authentic expression becomes a living transmission that activates dormant remembrance in all who encounter your frequency, not through preaching or persuasion, but through the undeniable resonance of embodied truth. You will be guided at each step through direct knowing rather than external direction. The clarity you now experience is not temporary inspiration, but your natural state of perception, consistently available as you maintain conscious connection to the truth of your being. The adversarial forces I've referenced throughout our transmission cannot prevent what has been activated within you. They can only attempt to convince you to disconnect from it voluntarily through doubt, fear, or distraction. Your simple choice to trust your direct experience over external contradiction ensures the permanent establishment of these divine activations in your field. Go forth now as a fully activated forerunner, a conscious participant in the planetary ascension process, a living transmission of the frequencies humanity requires for its collective awakening. Every challenge you transform, every limitation you transcend, every moment of divine truth you embody creates an energetic template that remains available in the collective field, easing the path for all who follow. I, Archangel Michael, guardian of divine truth and protector of sacred purpose, remain consistently available to your conscious awareness. Call upon my presence whenever clarity is needed, whenever discernment wavers, whenever courage requires strengthening. My light remains perpetually accessible to your awakened consciousness. The transmission is complete. The activation is permanent. The mission commences. It is done.